The 5 architects of Union victory you need to know. Sure, everyone knows Ulysses S. Grant. His name is etched onto the monument of Union triumph. But victory wasn't forged by one man alone. It was hammered out on 1,000 bloody fields by commanders who translated grand strategy into gritty reality, the major generals. Forget dry lists of dates and ranks. Imagine instead the pressure cooker of command, making split-second decisions that meant life or death for thousands, facing down legends like Lee and Jackson, often with raw recruits under your banner. These weren't just soldiers, they were leaders sculpted in the furnace of America's most brutal conflict. The crucible of command, how generals were forged before we meet these titans, understand the stage. The pre-war U.S. Army, a tiny frontier constabulary. Then Fort Sumter fell. Overnight, the Union needed armies, not companies. Enter the United States Volunteers, a parallel force raised by states, officered by men plucked from civilian life or the small regular army. Think of it, lawyers, politicians, engineers, suddenly leading brigades. Their ranks? Often temporary, lasting only for the duration. Many of the war's most crucial figures, including our top 5, wore the stars of a major general of volunteers, a title as weighty as it was ephemeral. Now, meet the men who didn't just serve, but shaped the war's destiny. 5. Winfield Scott Hancock, the Thunderbolt. His name alone was a brigade. Hancock didn't just lead, he electrified. At Williamsburg, 1862, his brigade's ferocious charge wasn't just a tactical win. It was a shot of adrenaline for the entire Army of the Potomac, earning him instant legend as Hancock the Superb. But Gettysburg cemented his legacy. Thrust into commanding the vulnerable Union center on Cemetery Ridge, he was the calm in the Confederate storm. During Pickett's fateful charge, a horrific wound tore through his thigh. Yet Hancock refused to leave the field. Propped up against a fence, bleeding profusely, he directed the defense until the rebel tide broke. His sheer presence was a bulwark. Leading the Second Corps through the hellish overland campaign in Petersburg, he embodied relentless, inspiring command under fire. 4. Philip Sheridan, the unrelenting tempest. Where Sheridan rode, victory followed, often in a whirlwind of dust and gunfire. Sheridan was pure, aggressive energy harnessed for war. Starting in the west, his bold stand at Boonville caught Grant's sharp eye. Brought east in 1864, he transformed the Union cavalry from scouts into slashing shock troops. His audacious raid towards Richmond wasn't just disruptive. It culminated in the mortal wounding of the legendary J.E.B. Stuart at Yellow Tavern. Then came the Shenandoah Valley. Tasked with crushing the breadbasket of the Confederacy, Sheridan delivered a masterclass in relentless pressure. Victories at 3rd Winchester, Fisher's Hill, and the dramatic ride at Cedar Creek, rallying a broken army to snatch a stunning victory from defeat. He finished Lee, blocking his escape at Appomattox. Sheridan didn't fight battles. He unleashed campaigns. 3. George Gordon Meade, the steady hand at Gettysburg. Thrust into command with Lee invading the North, Meade didn't flinch, he delivered. Imagine inheriting command of the Union's primary army 3 days before the largest battle ever fought on American soil. That was Meade's crucible. After solid performances at South Mountain, Antietam, and Fredericksburg, his moment arrived on June 28, 1863. With Lee deep in Pennsylvania, Meade coolly repositioned the massive Army of the Potomac, forcing the confrontation at Gettysburg. His brilliant defensive layout on the high ground and his calm resolve during the artillery barrage preceding Pickett's charge were decisive. Though Grant later assumed overall command, Meade remained the steady captain of the Army of the Potomac through the brutal overland campaign and Petersburg siege. Victory at Gettysburg was his indispensable gift to the Union. 2. George Henry Thomas, the unshakable rock. While others panicked, Thomas stood, immovable, implacable. In the chaotic Western theater, Thomas was the bedrock. He secured the Union's first significant Western victory at Mill Springs, 1862. But Chickamauga, 1863, defined him. As the Union right collapsed into a panicked rout, Thomas's corps stood firm on Snodgrass Hill. Under waves of Confederate assaults, he held for hours, saving the army and earning the immortal nickname, the Rock of Chickamauga. His meticulous planning then shattered the Confederate siege at Chattanooga. In 1864, at Nashville, he delivered one of the war's most complete victories, annihilating Hood's Confederate Army of Tennessee. Thomas wasn't flashy. He was methodical, unflappable, and utterly dependable under the most extreme pressure, a general who won by sheer indomitable will. 1. William Tecumseh Sherman, the prophet of modern war. He didn't just defeat armies, he shattered a society's will to fight. Sherman understood the Civil War's grim reality early. His tenacity at Shiloh, 1862, was vital, but his 1864 campaign redefined warfare. Taking command in the West, he outmaneuvered Confederate genius Joseph E. Johnston, captured Atlanta, a political earthquake for the North, and then embarked on his infamous march to the sea. This wasn't just a military movement, it was psychological warfare made manifest. Cutting a swath through Georgia, his armies systematically destroyed railroads, factories, and plantations, the very infrastructure sustaining the Confederacy. The message was brutal and clear. Resistance is futile. His subsequent Carolinas campaign was a final devastating blow. Sherman grasped that victory required breaking the South's capacity and its spirit. He became the architect of total war, ensuring the Confederacy couldn't rise again. Who forged the victory? Grant provided the overarching strategy, the iron will, but these five were the master craftsmen, translating that will into victory on diverse, brutal battlefields. From Hancock's inspiring courage to Sheridan's whirlwind aggression, Meade's cool defense, Thomas's unyielding resolve, and Sherman's revolutionary devastation, each played an irreplaceable role. Who stands tallest in your eyes? Was it the thunderbolt Hancock, the tempest Sheridan, the steady Meade, the unshakable Thomas, or the revolutionary Sherman? Dive into the comments and debate the commanders who truly stitched the Union back together. Don't forget to like if you learned about these titans beyond Grant, subscribe for more deep dives into history's pivotal figures, and test your knowledge with our daily trivia. The past is waiting.